بله. سلام علیکم. جور بخیر. تاسی جوری است؟ خیر خیریته؟
حالا مد کریم؟ خواه خطا نرفته
بند موندیم در وظیفه
پیدا کرده یه چیزه
بند موندیم.
Jamila Mujahid has seen it all. She runs a radio station, edits a women's magazine, and has lived through several political upheavals in Afghanistan. But a different revolution has taken her by surprise over the last few years.
دومره ټلیفونونه د ښځو نه موږ د راډیو ته راځي چې واقعا زه همیشه تعجب کوم چې دې ټلیفون موږ څومره خلکو ته نږدې کړي یو. حشراتو کې یو عجیب و غریب بدلون رامخکې کړی دی. دا په دې معنا چې تاسو باور وکړئ چې موږ هره ورځ په 9 ساعته نشراتو کې خپل د 200 نه تر 400 ټلیفونونه لرو. او په هغې کې هم ګیلهمن دي خلک وایي چې یو ساعت کېږي موږ تاسو ته زنګ وهو او ټلیفون مو نه رخ کېږي.
Jamila's is just one story in the sea change that has come about in Afghanistan thanks to the telecommunication revolution, now into its 4th year. In 2002, the government-owned Afghan Telecom was the lone fixed-line operator.
Because of the 25 years of war in Afghanistan, the government telecom sector was almost like non-existent. And the amount of money required to build telecommunication infrastructure in a big country like Afghanistan, it is huge. And in the current situation, or at that time in Afghanistan, of course, the government did not have such resources. And that is the reason why we decided that inactive private sector participation would be to the best advantage of our country.
Acting swiftly, the government awarded the first GSM operator license in April 2002 to the Afghan Wireless Communication Company, the AWCC. The government signed a 15-year contract with them and also invested 20% in the joint venture. But the going was tough in the beginning.
The big vendors that we approached, they were not willing to sell their system to us that we can have to have it here in Afghanistan, because they were convinced that we would not be able to run their system in Afghanistan, and the security system were for them, or the security challenges were very high for them in Afghanistan.
At the same time, international aid agencies, including the World Bank, USAID, and the PPIAF, the Public-Private Infrastructure Advisory Facility, were assisting the Afghan government's efforts to put a new telecommunications law and regulatory framework in place. In a market where the private sector was just making its appearance, an independent regulator was the first priority.
There was very little competitive or private sector engagement in Afghanistan in any sector. So telecom is the first sector we are having multiple operators in private sector engagement, and that's why we are the first where there is a need to create such a unit. So it is not a very easy task, it is a difficult task, and I think the support we got from PPIF in the initial phase of defining the organization, helping us to draft the law, and also in the recruitment of some of the people for this regulatory unit, that assistance was very valuable.
By 2003, more than 18,000 mobile connections had been sold. Life on the street was changing fast.
اسمم گلپاچاست، دریور تاکسی میباشم، در شهر کابل کار میکنم. خانه من در جبه‌سراج است، از جبه‌سراج تا کابل 2.5 ساعت راست. حال تلفن‌های موبایل است یا پیسو در هر جای شهر کابل است. اگر ناوقت میشه او وقت مشکل بود برای ما که ما اول بتونم در خانه حال تلفن میکنم مشکل ما رفع میشه.
I have many customers in outside and they are emailing me and I will send them many pictures of the carpets and they will send me back which carpets they needed, and after that I call to my supplier to different part of Afghanistan and then they will send those carpets which I want to my customer. Telephone and internet help me in my business. For example, if in the past I was sold 5-6 carpet in the week, now I can sell 10-12 carpet in the week.
In July 2003, Roshan entered the Afghan market through a competitive and transparent bidding process. The second GSM provider brought early competition and its knock-off effects into mobile services.
Well, when we started, the entry cost was about $400 for a handset and SIM card, and the airtime charges were around about $2 a minute. Today, in the marketplace, a SIM can be obtained for about $25 and a handset for about $25. And airtime charges for on-net calls are about 10 cents a minute. So dramatic change that has come about really because of the competitive environment and the development of telecoms in the country.
2003 also saw the announcement of the Telecommunications and Internet Policy, which was finally passed as law in 2005. It provides for the creation of an independent telecom regulator, the establishment of a level playing field between various players, the pursuing of an aggressive liberalization policy, and encouraging usage of internet and other information technologies. It has taken 3 years from the appointment of the interim regulator in 2002 to the passing of telecom legislation in 2005, a wait which many believe will prove its worth in the long term.
You know, I think it's much better to wait a little bit more, but to have a very good law than, you know, pushing and rushing and have a law which is going to be questioned by the investors. So we really discussed at length with the government because we wanted the government and the ministry on board on the competition conditions in the sector. And I think the law is really reflecting the best practices in the world.
There are over 1.2 million telephone subscribers in Afghanistan today. Usage charges have fallen by more than 70% in 3 years. It's not just cell phone users who are reaping the benefits of increased competition. Najma Hafizi has just finished high school. She's excited to be here for a job interview with Ariba, the third mobile operator, gearing up to launch its service in June 2006.
من که حالا امتحان سپاری کردم و امید دارم که کامیاب میشم و بخیر آینده شاید دیجا مر بگیرن به کار و امی کمپانیا از طریق امی کمپانیا خانم‌ها و زنان افغانستان میتونن که مصدر خدمت شون افغانستان.
The telecom sector employs nearly 8,000 people directly today. Add allied trades, and this estimate goes up to nearly 30,000. The telecommunications sector has attracted more than $500 million of investments. Government revenues, too, have increased substantially.
It's becoming one of the largest source of income revenues for the government. We're expecting about $40 million in business receipt tax from them. That's 10% of their sales that we're expecting to get. Of course, last year we sold one GSM license. That was $40 million, and we're about to sell another one for another $40 million. This is with the UAE, the Salat company. So it has both direct impact on the economy as well as indirect impact in the sense of being a necessary precondition for other economic activities.
The mobile footprint already covers nearly 60% of the nation. The government-owned Afghan Telecom has also built its own reach to the people through 165,000 fixed digital lines spread over 24 provinces. A government communications network created with the assistance from the World Bank is improving governance across the country.
The Government Communications Network, GCN as it's known, was created with the aims to interconnect all government offices throughout the entire country of Afghanistan to one another and also to the rest of the world. They currently are enjoying all the 34 provincial capitals in Afghanistan through the GCN network, connectivity through voice, internet, data, and video conferencing. This is something it's unheard of in a country like Afghanistan. We are able to communicate with each province.
A district communication network, or DCN, linking common people across 53 far-flung districts till date, has also been built with help from USAID. Each communication kiosk has telephone, internet, and fax facilities. Shardor is a brick maker in the Kalakan district, just north of Kabul. He uses the network to check on deliveries dispatched to customers. Mohammad Naeem manages the kiosk here.
با وجود اینکه 20 روز میشه که دستگاه فعال شده است که ازدحام مردم کمتر است و سر از او هم 7-8 نفر رخ شده است در مملکت‌های خارج افغانستان دیگه اگر لوحه بند شود بسیار کارش خوب خواهد شد.
When completed, the DCN will reach 335 districts and serve as a springboard to reach even the most remote areas in rural Afghanistan.
Rural telephony for us is an absolute priority. It's one of the highest priorities for us, primarily because it's a key to development for the rural areas. And we know that there are large parts of the Afghan population that are eager to engage the mainstream of economic development out here. We are putting a lot of energy and capital into the district communication network as the jumping off point to get to those. From those 335 or 340 districts, through the new technologies that are coming into Afghanistan today, you can actually reach 10, 20, 30, 40 kilometers from there to all of the surrounding villages and hamlets.
2.5% of revenues from telecom operators is being set aside each year to support telecom development in rural areas. Communication cafes like this one in Kabul University have given Afghans, particularly its youth, a new window to the world. Maria Mahmoodi studies economics at Kabul University. This avid surfer is a regular here.
इंटरनेट आने से हमारे लिए यानी हमारा बहुत फ़ायदा हुए क्योंकि हमारे फैकल्टी में किताब नोटबुक बुक यानी इंफॉर्मेशन बुक बहुत कम है इसलिए हम जो होमवर्क जो टीचर्स हमको देते हैं वो हम इंटरनेट के तरीके से ढूंढ लेते हैं और इस्तेफादा करते हैं.
Despite all the progress visible, all stakeholders agree that several challenges remain. Prices have come down substantially over the last 3 years, but they could be even lower. Access could be made available to more people, outside of Kabul and other towns. The telecom regulator too will have to enhance its technical capabilities as the market grows and matures. From a quarter century of war and destruction, to mobile phones and recharge cards at every street corner, from economic stagnation to the first steps towards liberalization, from an isolated society to one connected with the rest of the world. telecom revolution has got the nation talking and brought hope that tomorrow will bring in a brighter future.